Hey guys, Tonic here. For this video, Bethesda has asked me to share my top 5 tips for getting a head start in Starfield. Now, Starfield is the first new universe in 25 years from Bethesda Game Studios, and it will be a very familiar game to many players who have spent time playing any of the Fallout games or the Elder Scrolls games. But this guide is meant to inform you about a few things that might help you get off to a better start, so you don't get a few hours in and start a new character again like I did. This video will cover a few things that'll make your first playthrough a little bit more efficient, without mentioning any big spoilers. So a huge thank you to Bethesda for sponsoring this video, and with that being said, let's get right into it. In Starfield, the most important story is the one you tell with your character. You will navigate through space and decide who you will be and what you'll become. So starting off with creating your character, of course you should spend some time and make your character look however you'd like, but don't worry too much if you can't decide on that perfect hairstyle or tattoos, because later on in the game you can still edit your character's looks. In major cities there are enhanced stores, and here you can pay credits and edit your character, and it's not too expensive, so again, don't worry too much if you're indecisive on your character's look, you can always change it later. Also, when you're creating your character, another important thing is to read through each background and all of the traits, then pick a few that'll best suit your playstyle. The traits come up often throughout the game, and they will give you special dialogue options, and some of these special dialogue options can be extremely helpful. They can help you complete quests and persuade characters. The hero worship trait will even give you a follower. Each trait has its benefits, and it's just a good idea to read through each trait. And again, pick the ones that you think will help you the most. Along with backgrounds and traits, skills are another way to customize your character to fit your preferred playstyle. Skills are grouped into 5 categories: physical, social, combat, science, and tech. Each skill category is divided into 4 tiers, with the lowest tier containing basic skills and the higher tiers containing more complex skills. So for example, if you're enjoying playing with pistols, you can increase their damage. There are a ton of skills here, but as a new player there are a few skills that I'd recommend working on early. So first up, security is a great skill to have. This is basically your lockpicking skill, and there are tons of locked containers and doors in Starfield, and most of the time many of these locked containers have really good loot that is worth grabbing. Sometimes certain locked doors will allow you to sneak past enemies, and this is one skill that I definitely regret not leveling up faster. There have been plenty of times where I've found locks that were beyond my skill level, and I've missed out on whatever loot was behind those doors, so I definitely recommend leveling up your security early on. Another great skill is boost pack training. This skill will allow you to operate a boost pack, and you can get these early on, and they are great to have. You can reach rooftops, jump over large obstacles, negate fall damage, and in combat they can be extremely helpful. You can boost pack to find better cover, or fly right towards the enemy to get closer. Persuasion is another great perk to get early on. During dialogue, sometimes you'll get the option to use persuasion, and this will start sort of a mini-game within the dialogue, where you have to pick the best options, and if done correctly you can successfully persuade the other person. This can be very helpful during certain quests, and I would definitely recommend it. Lastly, the stealth skill is a great option to consider, especially if you enjoy playing a stealthy character. This skill will add a stealth bar, and it will allow you to sneak around, and the more you rank it up, the harder it is for enemies to detect you, and you will get a damage bonus with suppressed weapons. Another great tip for new players is to explore everything. This game is huge, and there are tons of things to discover, and most of the best weapons and spacesuits and even side quests that I've found have been from going off the main path and exploring locked rooms, hidden passages, and random planets. There is so much stuff to find in this game, and it can be easy to miss a container holding great loot like an amazing weapon or a locker holding aid items, credits, and ammo, so I'd recommend taking your time while exploring and check out as much as you can. It really feels like the developers took so much time placing items and rewarding those people who take their time and really explore. So if you go into the first few hours with this mindset, you'll find so many consumables, weapons, and just a lot of items to help you early on. After playing for a few hours and picking up tons of loot, you may find yourself over-encumbered. This was an issue I ran into a lot in the first few hours until I found some solutions. So first, there is a skill that you can choose to help with carry weight. It's in the physical skill tree and it's called weightlifting. Rank 1 will give you an extra 10 kilograms, then you can rank it up to get an extra 25, 50, and even 100 kilograms. So I would check out that skill if you love carrying tons of items. Also, if you have a companion, you can store your items with them using the trade option. They can carry some stuff and they will follow you around, so when I find heavy, expensive armor or weapons that I'd like to sell, I will usually have them carry it until we get to a store. Then I'll just take it from them and sell it. You can also build storage containers in your outposts. So if you've collected some rare items or unique things that you want to keep, you can always safely store them at one of your outposts. Lastly, I found that your ship storage can be extremely helpful. On your ship you can store items. Now there is a limit on how much you can store, but you can upgrade your cargo to get more carrying capacity. So after looting on a random planet or completing some quests, you can store your items in your ship until you get to a planet to sell them or store them away. And for the last tip, I would highly recommend that you do not neglect upgrading your ship and piloting skills. For the first few hours in my playthrough, I did nothing with my ship. I didn't upgrade any of the weapons or the shield generator, and I didn't choose any piloting skills as I was leveling up. I pretty much put all of my skill points into dialogue, stealth, all of that kind of stuff. And eventually, after progressing through a few quest lines, I found myself doing a ton of missions where ship combat was required, and I was severely underpowered. I was getting destroyed, and I had a really hard time during some random encounters and some quests because I didn't focus on my ship at all. So I would highly recommend getting familiar with the ship builder, and as you level up and get some more credits, it's a good idea to upgrade your ship and put some skill points into space combat and piloting. It will really help in the long run. You can get ambushed while traveling between planets, stumble across a space battle, and again some quests will have you fighting in ship combat. So having some piloting skills and some extra firepower will really help in certain situations. But that is pretty much going to be it for this video, so I really hope that some of these tips help you out in your first playthrough. Starfield is available beginning September 1st on Xbox and PC for those who have purchased the Starfield Premium Edition, and it will be available for everyone else on September 6th. If you would like to purchase the game for yourself, you can do so by clicking the link in the description. Thank you again to Bethesda for sponsoring this video, and thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Lastly, as always, I'd like to give another massive thank you to all of the channel members: Ubi, Dick Johnson, Esdeath93, Mizader, Terry Lockridge, MXC Gaming, Radcon, Ice Cream Manny, Jays the Aussie, Joe Pervincente, I Am Mr. Me Not You, Dr. Calamari, Argent Deer, Shaky Hands Workshop, Leo the Collector Plays, Loopy, Adam Steinson, Robert Kennard, CRM114, Theodore, Slappy Sauce, King Kittens, Omniprotus, Victrix, Axel, Kevin W, Anna S, Fallout McFly, Networkgate, Golty, Lanthar, Captain Awesome, Heather Henderson, Patrick Ruda, 20th the Icefire, Bazza Double Frank, Christy Mellon Schwitz. Thank you guys so much. I love you guys, and have a great day.